People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. Now, people, when they amended the Firearms Act, amended Serious Crimes Act, including MURDER. After I psychoanalyzed these criminal minds, I told you that after those bills, these criminals are going to get more desperate, more desperate, more desperate. And people, it is true to form. Yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, there were at least 2 incidents involving the Po-Po. One incident in which a bike officer lost his gun, almost lost his life. I am going to tell you about that story in intricate details, as if you got the story from either the Po-Po or the criminal. Maybe a fly on the wall. I am also going to tell you about an inspector that went to an automated teller machine and he was almost robbed. He was almost SHOT to his demise. Starting with the first story first, Duncan's Pen. Bike officer, he was there, doing his regular job. Him pull over a bike man. Seems as if the plates were either not attached properly, or the plate kinda look fishy. Something never look right. Him pull over the bike man, ask for the paperwork. License, registration, fitness, whatever them call it. The man knew that something was wrong, the paperwork were not in order. So, doing what criminals do, he said to the officer, "Let me talk to you." The officer insisted, "Paperwork, please." He then approached the officer, rushed the officer, kicked down the officer's bike. Don't know what his intention was. Don't know if the look on the officer's face told him that the officer was not in it with him today. Him no want take no money. He was doing his job as a honest Po-Po. He knew that things never look so good, meaning the criminal. So therefore he got desperate. Kicked down the officer's bike. The officer hold on upon him shirt. That was then an all-out tussle ensued. They were going back and forth at it. The officer had his tool in the holster. Him try disarm the officer, take the tool out of the holster. They were going back and forth at it. The tool was eventually taken out of the holster. Don't know if it is by the Po-Po, the criminal, or a combination of both. It was a back and forth. One advantage went to the criminal. Next time the advantage went to the Po-Po. However, they were battling for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or so. One time the officer had the advantage. The next time the criminal had the advantage. At one point the officer realized that, listen, it seems as if this man have a stronger hold. It seems as if this man is stronger than me. It seems as if this man is about to disarm me. So there's a little button on the tool. The officer decides, well, if me I lose my grip on my own tool, the government tool that is, I am going to try to eject the magazine from out of the tool. You know, most officers, them have one at the head. So therefore, he decided that he was going to make a desperate maneuver, meaning the officer. He might go try blaze up the man in the chest for kinda back him off. He tried. The bullet pretty much passed the youth ears in neck. However, it did not hit him. That was when the youth get even more desperate. Based on the information that I got, it is said that he was trying to hit the bike man in his chest. However, it never worked. Based on the angle that the man was at, based on how they hold the tool, whatever. So they were going back and forth at it. Persons were there watching. Nobody rendered any sort of assistance to the Po-Po. Nobody rendered any sorts of assistance to the criminal. People decide to make them go and deal with them thing by themselves. Person are not going to intervene, and next thing you know, you're trying to be a hero, a good Samaritan, and end up DEAD. Neither the officer or this criminal would take care of your kids or your responsibility. So therefore, that is why most persons keep out of stuff. A dispute between A and B, you see yourself. That is the mentality. See yourself out, sorry. So anyways, they were going back and forth at it till eventually the officer had his trigger finger, in at the tool. The youth twisted. The officer could hear when his finger broke. That was when the man got the advantage. So therefore, the man get up after him put him knee in at the poor chest. Them tussle until he was on top of the officer, no HOMO. He then relieved that officer of his tool. The officer knew then that things did not look good for him. Luckily for that officer, he decided that he was going to do the smart thing. When he saw that he was having a disadvantageous position, he released the magazine. The one in the head did gone. Based on information from either the popo, the criminal, or a fly upon the wall, I am telling you, this is the story exactly how it unfolded. No sorts of changes, no sorts of amping it up, just like it unfolded. It is said that the man then decided that he might go run from the scene of the crime. Him start to run. The popo said to himself, "No man, me can't make this man take for himself and gone with the government toll. It a go look bad for my part. I am going to be the laughing stock." However, he knew that this man is a full-fledged criminal. This man has the advantage in the era. This man was good at hurdles in school. This man take up a wall. The popo tried to follow. However, he was not as swift. He was not as agile. The man know the terrain, and the man is a criminal. He had the advantage. The man take for himself. Run left the popo. Run left his own bike. Now people, you and I know that that bike, even though it is not registered, somebody owns it. Somebody is going to want back that bike. However, most importantly, this is how these criminals think. They must say to themselves, this man is going to pull me over. Me not have the paperwork. Maybe me never even get authorization to take the people and bike. The people are going to want back them thing. The bike probably belong to some sorts of serious person. Or maybe this man is the owner of the bike. The registration might have expired. However, it comes back to somebody. Don't know what was going through his mind. Don't know how it escalated from one thing being just some sort of traffic citation or violation to the point where the criminal and the popo are tussle for the toll. So anyways, the criminal got the advantage. Jump couple fence, take for himself. The popo try to run him down. His trigger finger was broken so badly. He said that while he tried to run him, and then he might try to fix the finger at the same point. You know people, whenever you get any sorts of broken bone, it probably sends some sorts of signal to your brain. It makes you kind of nervous. After a while, the pain is so unbearable, you have to just abort the mission. So anyways, the man run at some bush, take for himself, popo sit down, or popo stand up and look real, STOPID. I say, oh, me get to this. Me get up this morning, just to do my job, and a man rush me because him violate the road code. Take on my tool, running at some sorts of bushes. In the video that is before this one, I told you, there were some officers. They gave a description of the man. The man is known as Hyena. They knew where the man was. They know where the man lived. However, this man was in hiding with the popo tool. He must said to himself, if them catch me I know, you know some DEAD. And based on history that we've seen, whenever you're in any sort of altercation, pie up any sort of po, take away any sorts of po life, or even take away any sorts of po tool, you are living on borrowed time. It is called DEAD, man, walking. Sooner or later, they are going to catch you. Sooner or later, they are going to lock you up. And even mostly, they are going to take you out of here, send you to the afterlife. Now, people, this got very interesting. Apparently, the people were run the era. I am not speaking about the councillor. I am not speaking about the MP. I am speaking about the Don. Apparently, a little birdie contact the Don and make the Don know exactly what is going on. Apparently, whichever bush this man was in, the Don, he sent a message, a very clear and concise message. Brother, we no wanna eat over here, so therefore, whichever part of anywhere in the world, if you're on top of the highest mountain or the depths, the abyss of the deepest sea, make sure say you return that tool there where belong to the po or else your mother, your granny, your pitney, your dog, your puss, anything that is related to you directly or indirectly is not going to make it past today. People, before the message reached him ears, a little girl went to some sorts of po station, don't know what type of arrangement was made, if she used a minivan, a bus, her father or mother carry her there. She had the tool in her bag, returned to the po station. So people, when people tell you say, listen, these damn thing, them control the era for true, whatever they say, it is like the gospel. At the end of the day, the po is lucky that he did not lose his life. The po is lucky that the government gun was returned. However, the man most significantly that I can expect, this man have to go leave the era. This man might have some sorts of DEATH wish on his head because of what he did. It is not going to turn out very good for this man and his family. More than likely, they will have to exit stage left, meaning that leave the era. So people, that was the first incident. A next incident in which an inspector attached to the St. Catherine North Po Station Division, he went to an ATM automated teller machine off Old Harbor Road, I think. He went in the machine, and while he was at the machine, some men pull up on him with tool. They decide that they wanted to rob a C0P. Now people, I don't know if this officer was in plain clothes or this officer had his uniform on. If he had his uniform on and he had a tool, this will only prove my point even more, that these people don't care. So anyways, the inspector went to the ATM machine, tried to make some sorts of withdrawal. Don't know if he did it before he was pounced upon. The man them running upon him, shock and awe him. He was hit by the can in the hip region. It is said that the train inspector wheel and pop off his piece and responded accordingly. One man was hit. That man, I have the picture, however, because of YouTube's policy, I cannot put it up on the screen. I am going to put it in my WhatsApp group, the phone number 1-876-894-2711. You want to see the picture of the man we try to rob, the inspector. Just say that you want to join the group, leave your name, and that is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Now people, back to the story at hand. After the SMOKE clear Both persons were taken to the Spanish Town Hospital. The officer was treated. It is said that the officer lost X amount of BLOOD. There was even some sorts of drive to make sure that people can donate the type of BLOOD that is the same as the inspector. The next man, I don't think that he was injured that badly. Who cares? He should have lost his life. Now, people, like I said, when they amended these bills, I don't think that anything would have changed, and nothing has changed. While some division, based on what the Popo say, crime is down, serious crime is down. These people tell themselves, it is do or die. I am not going to get locked up. I would rather try and DIE in the commencement of my crime than to get locked up and face this fresh 15. Now, people, in the first case that I spoke about, the traffic Popo, this man is going to be charged for illegal possession of a firepiece, even though the tool belonged to the officer. Because as far as the law is concerned, he still had a tool, whether him get it by some sorts of advantageous way, in a some sorts of tussle. So therefore, fresh 15, meaning 15 years minimum mandatory just for that. The fact that the officer said, while he was trying to chase him to retrieve the tool, him point at the officer remembered that he ejected the magazine out of the tool, and then the tool, or the corn that was in the head of the tool, that one was also dispensed. It is said that this man that took the officer's tool, him try to slide back or select. So therefore, this tells you that this is not no ordinary man. This is not just a biker, a courier that delivers messages or packages. This is a hardened criminal. This man knew exactly what he was doing, and had it not been for the smart instincts of this officer, he would have been DEAD right now if any sorts of magazine filled with any sorts of hot corn was in that tool. So luckily for him, he had the sense of mind that pretty much saved his life. So therefore, talk about the fresh 15 for just the tool. Talk about the fact that EASSAULTED the officer, and talk about the fact that him select or try to select unsuccessfully a couple of times. So we are speaking about ATTEMPTEDMUR. You know exactly what I talk about. So people, at the end of the day, in less than 24 hours, maybe about 8 hours or so, one shift, 2 officers, traffic Popo, and also an inspector were ASSAULTED, almost lost their life in 2 instances, back to back to back. This tells you about the mentality. This tells you about what I have spoken about on several occasions. Officers, they need to be more alert. Officers, they need to be more assertive when they are on the job. Don't take it for granted that this is just another day in paradise. Nothing is going to happen. Whenever you tell yourself that, that is when all HELL can break loose. And people, in both cases, that is exactly what transpired. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. And please, in the description of this video, I am going to put the link for my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. Please to subscribe to that channel also. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.